Greetings from the Philippines to Canada. Lips, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, finally have you on the show.
Starting to get cold in Canada.
Wow. Yeah, he is hot every day.
Yeah,
But
no
he's
doubt.
what time is in Canada right now?
It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Actually, 1:11. 1:11.
Okay, cool. Lips.
Or 13:11. You're whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah, fucking 20. I always says to my show, it's 14 December 20 fucking 20. It's a
Right.
fuck year. But we keep the spirit alive. We keep it going.
Okay. I,
Lips,
I can go with that.
your career is over 40 years, right?
Yeah, over 40 years.
I just watched Metal on Metal from 2013
Right.
in Wacken, and the close up from your face, you still are have the same fire like 40 years ago. How it comes? What is this? What is the magic?
I think it's I think it's just the way it is. You either have it in your soul or you don't. And I think it's there forever. Some musicians want to give excuses for themselves and they try to quit. And whenever they try to quit, they end up going back. You know what I mean? So the spirit's always there and
Right,
it's going with it. It's enjoying it. To
right,
me, it couldn't be a better, happier moment than to be on stage, especially when you consider how hard and difficult it really was to actually get there and be of importance enough to actually play in front of a huge audience. That
yes,
that was a big, huge accomplishment. What you're watching in 2013 is it's actually a huge accomplishment because we couldn't do that previous to the movie.
yes.
That is a
That was a
result
leg.
of having a resurgence and having everybody interested in the band again. And not only that, but it's actually coming to work to play, if you understand what I mean. It's
Bring.
now you've got this recognition. You better start writing songs. You better start working harder. You better be enjoying every minute because it could end any minute. And
Yes,
if I've learned anything, I've learned that.
I know. I watched the movie like millions others, and it was heartbreaking. It was like like you lost it actually. Bring us back to the beginning. You already toured. You already had shows with Scorpions, Bon Jovi, Whitesnake in Japan. You made it actually big already in the beginning of '80, and then suddenly, like in a movie, that says you disappeared, but you never disappeared. You worked same before. You worked in the little clubs, and
Yeah,
then comes
it never.
how was it? What was the reason actually that he never went to the next step? Like Lars Ulrich said, you never know what's happened. What's happened?
Well, it's getting involved with the wrong people.
All right.
It's how you do business and who you do business with, and where being at the right, like Lemmy says, being at the right place at the right time, and that also includes being involved with the right people at the right time. I can give you a very, very, very simple example. We came to like a crossroads. You know what I mean? We had a choice between working with Johnny Z, which is Craze Management, the people that managed and basically broke Anthrax big. And it's
Yes.
actually the guy that actually really discovered Metallica.
Yes.
Now, what happened was he, of course, had discovered us, but we'd already made waves and caused quite the stir in Europe with our first and second albums. So then he offered to get involved and wanted to get involved. But at the same moment, David Krebs, which was Scorpion's management, and Ted Nugent's manager, and Aerosmith's manager also wanted to be involved with Anvil. So at that particular time, this guy, Johnny Z, was nobody. He didn't have Anthrax. He didn't have Metallica. He didn't have anything. He was just a guy who wanted to make a start for himself in the music business. So to us, it was, well, we're going to do business with David Krebs. So here we were in the studio in 1983, recording Forged in Fire, and David Krebs got interested in Anvil. Well, he pulled us out of the studio. He pulled us out of the recording studio to put us to do 5 shows with Aerosmith. So we leave the studio and go out on tour and do 5 shows with Aerosmith. The guy watches us and everything. And during that period of time, I kind of wondered if this was the right thing to do. We went out on stage and no one in the audience knew who the fuck we were because we didn't have a release in the United States. So here we are opening for Aerosmith. Steven Tyler isn't showing up to the gig, and they're making us play for over an hour, to an audience that's never heard the band before. Mm-hmm. So we're playing songs like 666, and of course, the manager, David Krebs, comes into the change room after the show, and he goes, "I don't know what the hell that 666 song is, but you shouldn't be playing some music like that." Which was a complete disconnect. There's my first clue. Don't go with this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about, because that was the cutting edge. That's the cutting edge song.
So
that's the stuff that was going to make history, and you completely missed it. You don't get it. So now you fast forward a bit into the future, and he's trying to get us record deals, and we've got, of course, more speed metal and stuff that's Anvil, and he's taking it to major labels, and they've never heard this shit before in their lives. So they don't know how to market it, how they're going to fucking do anything with it. And then they're going, well, I'll tell you what, we'll do a special deal. And they're trying to make us feel like we're fucking dog shit. Give us your first 3 albums for free. And then what the money that we'll turn over from selling your first 3 albums will give us the money to pay for your 4th album. All right, so you're following what I'm saying. So yes. Here we were, still with a record deal in Canada, and the major labels in the United States want the Canadian label to hand over 3 albums worth of material for free. So you can imagine that the Canadian label just goes like, how about I don't think so? That's not going to happen, right? Well, so that's precisely sort of what happened. So the Canadian label made a deal with a French label in around that period of time, and they pressed the first and second albums as picture discs. Mm-hmm. 1 million of them got pressed and went out all over the world at a fraction of the price of the actual real copies. So they got bootlegged. After that point, of course, the manager got us out of the record deal. So there we were in 1983, after finishing the Forged in Fire album. Basically, now we haven't got a record deal. We haven't got a tour. We got nothing. So as a consolation, David Krebs put us on that show in Japan in 1984. And the interesting fact about that is the promoter that put on that show was the promoter that brought us brought Anvil to Japan in 1983. So David Krebs used that connection to actually put Super Rock 84 on.
Mm-hmm.
So we got completely used. We performed at Super Rock 84, and then after Super Rock 84, we were out of the record deal in Canada, no record deal in the United States. So for the next 4 years or 3 years, we had no records out. We lost complete momentum, and that was it. That's what happened.
Wow.
So it has to do with who we did business with. Now, what do you do about that? What could have we done about that? Well, there wasn't much that could be done until the point that I got to the point that I went to see Michael Schenker at a show here in Toronto, and of course, David was managing Michael Schenker at the time, and it was actually with Macaulay. It was that period of time, in around must have been 85 maybe, and David Krebs still had a contract with us and would not release the band.
Do
So
you
we couldn't
ever
go get
confronted him directly?
record deals on our own. We couldn't even get record deals on our own. We couldn't do anything. We're completely locked and tied up. So at that Michael Schenker show, I walked up to David Krebs and grabbed him by the, like in the movie, and I grabbed the guy by the thing, and I go, "Let my band go, or I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you."
Why not didn't? Why
And
not?
then he did. A week later, we got the release, and that was it. And we went, and after that point, we went in and we recorded on our own, because that's what you do. I don't need, and I've been doing that ever since. I go and record my own records and sell them and license them to record companies. And that's what I've been doing since 1987.
And then comes Sasha.
Yeah, not till 2005.
Yes.
But in between that period of time, we had deals with, one particular deal was with Massacre Records out of Germany, which is Thomas Hertler, and is a wonderful, great guy. Really believed in Anvil, and we did somewhere around 5 or 6 records for them. And on top of that, we started to eventually raised enough interest and did well enough that we started coming to Germany. And in fact, we did one of the very, very, very early Wacken festivals back in, I guess it must be, I don't know, maybe 2002, maybe earlier. I don't know. It might have been 2001. It's a long, long time ago, right?
Yeah.
And we were selling. At that Wacken show, we had a great show, and there was we were selling Blood on the Ice T-shirts, which looked like hockey shirts. And everybody, it was really weird because they looked so outstanding, because when I was on stage, I looked out in the crowd and you could see everybody that's wearing them, because they were white T-shirts. And no one wears white unless in a heavy metal crowd, but everybody was wearing white that day. It was boiling hot outside, and everyone went, "What the hell? I'm going to buy a white T-shirt. I'm going to buy the Anvil shirt." And they sold them all out. So that's some of my memories, of that first Wacken festival.
You know, Lips, when I watched the movie, I know you actually. I remember you in the 80s with your dildo.
Right.
Does the infamous dildo has a name, actually? You call them?
Oh, what? The vibrator? What do I call it?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a name for it.
Why you never give them a name? Maybe call him David.
One day I will. I don't know.
Call him David.
Call him David?
David
Why?
Kretsch.
Oh, jeez.
I wonder when I watched the movie like millions others, and I saw you delivering the food to the nursing homes or what was it, school or was it, and so determined to make it, and Rob was the sledgehammer, and there always this sarcastic comments, like, hey, it's cool, it's a fuck shit, what the fucking have to pay my rents and everything. Uh, but when you saw this movie, how you felt after the movie was such a big success around the world, because
Um,
suddenly you got the recognition when you saw it, how you feel, you delivering the foods, was it
well,
okay for you
it's really interesting because I I knew immediately what was going to happen because I knew that I could deliver it in the sense that if someone asked me if I went on film and been myself and been the guy that I am and what I possess and what and 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 bring that to the world, I knew it would be a success.
I saw this movie
But,
when
but,
you
but
says
you have to understand when Sasha, when I reconnected with Sasha, Sasha was a special friend. It's somebody that we met when he was 15 years old. See,
yes,
people might not know the inside story about how that all came to be. This kid came to see Anvil at the Marquee in London, England in 1982. He knocks at the door. He knocks at the door of our change room, and we let him in, and we find out there's this 15-year-old kid that knows every fucking note on everything we've ever recorded. He knows it inside out. He's read every article, every detail, knows every detail that he could possibly know about the band. And we were just amazed that here we were in England for our very first time, and we were astonished. Wow, this kid knows everything about us. This is unbelievable. So, of course, we were very flattered. And when he asked us, hey, let me show you around London, we thought, what the hell, So we went and went with him, and he took us to where you buy all the heavy metal stuff. So we bought bullet belts and patches and all the stuff that became heavy metal. That was heavy metal at that time. I mean, metal was a brand new thing in for sure in Canada, and no one. We would be the only people in Canada to have a bullet belt. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. So we went and we did all that, and this kid seemed like a really spectacular, really clever and really intuitive and understanding, and it's kind of a special kind of kid. And we find out that he had relatives and that his mother was from Toronto, lived in my hometown, and that his his grandparents, like this Sasha, his grandparents, his aunts and uncles all lived in my city. And he goes, listen, I'm going to come visit you. And I at the time I'm thinking, yeah, right, you're going to come visit. And sure enough, before I know it, there's a knock at my door, and it's Sasha. And he's like, okay. So of course, then we started. We just became even better friends as time went along, to the point where we go, you know what? We're going to take you on the road. So we took him on the road, and it just amazing. He was a drummer. Sasha's a drummer, so he was just absolutely in seventh heaven being Rob's roadie. So it turned out really good. And eventually, within a couple years, of course, things change. People move on, and we lost touch with Sasha. We didn't know what happened. And sometime around 2005, I get an email from Sasha going, I can't fucking believe it. You guys are still around. He didn't even know, hadn't heard all the albums. He says, send me your phone number. So I'm thinking, okay, what the hell? So I send him my phone number, and he gets on the phone. He goes, look it. I want you to come down and visit me. And I go, what do you mean visit you? Aren't you in England? And he goes, no, I'm living in Los Angeles. I'm going, okay, well, what are you doing in Los Angeles? He goes, I live down here, man. Come and visit me. I go, and I haven't got money to fucking pay for tickets and hotels to come down to Los Angeles. And he goes, oh, don't worry about that. I'm going to send you a ticket and I'm going to come pick you up at the airport. You come stay at my place. I'm going, okay. Okay, what the hell? So the next thing I know, there's a knock at my door, and it's FedEx, and they brought me tickets for airline tickets. I'm going, fuck, he's really serious. I couldn't fucking believe this shit's going on.
Yeah.
So I get down to Los Angeles, and I'm standing on the platform, waiting for him to show up to pick me up, and I take a look, and I see him driving towards me in a black Jaguar. And it's like, wow, look at this. And it's a convertible. And I'm looking at him and I'm going, I don't believe my fucking eyes. The last time I saw him, he was 17 years old. And here he is at 35. Right? So it's from a teenager. Now he's a middle-aged, like a grown man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, look at that. And I get in the car and we start talking, and right away, and it's talking about the old days and shit. I think the first argument was about Michael Schenker's new material in comparison to his old. Anyway, as it turned out, I had brought him all the pile of albums and everything, and then he starts telling me that, like, I'm going, okay, so you're driving a Jaguar, obviously things are going pretty good for you. What's up? And he goes, I became a screenwriter. And I go, a screenwriter? What, you're working in Hollywood? He goes, yeah, I work in Hollywood. I make movies. I go, you make movies? He goes, yeah, I write movies. I'm going, holy fuck, you got to be kidding me. He's going, yeah, I that's what I do now. And I'm getting pretty good at it. And I'm going, okay, that's cool. Have you done anything that I might know? And he goes, have you ever heard of the movie Terminal? And I went, what?
Tom Hanks.
The Terminal? I go, yeah, I just saw that movie. That's a Steven Spielberg movie. He goes, that's right. I wrote it. And then I'm going, now wait a second. Because instantly when he said it, I remembered seeing his name in the credits and
So you saw it.
thinking, can't be, right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Can't be the same guy. Can't be, right? You just watched a Hollywood movie. Why are you seeing your friend's name up there? It didn't sink in, right? Because I had no clue. And as soon as he said it, I was like, oh my God. Really?
The real deal.
Wow. Okay. So I'm blown away. Like Steven Spielberg has made movies from his fucking scripts, from Sasha's screenplays. Wow. I'm like, this is phenomenal. So of course I was there for the weekend, and we're just having just a fucking great time. And he takes me over to this guy's house that I had no idea who it was. It's his friend Steve. Okay, whatever, his friend Steve. Anyway, it's in Malibu Beach, and it's a beach house, a fucking beautiful, gorgeous place. And I'm sitting there outside with his wife, as his wife was, this guy Steve, his wife is watching the dog, and Sasha and the guy go in the house to make tea and stuff. And they have a discussion, and the guy goes, who the fuck did you bring to my house? So Sasha goes, that's my friend Lips. He plays for a band called Anvil, and they're still a going band. He goes, yeah, go ahead. And he goes, yeah, Lips is almost 50 years old, and he's still working at it. And he's done 10, 12 albums already. And he's going, and he hasn't made it. And Sasha goes, no. And then Steve just kind of goes, you should make a movie about that. Now,
So this was the idea of Steve.
yeah, that basically it clicks to Sasha, and Sasha started thinking about it, right? Now, the weekend comes and goes. We had a great time. I go back home. And about 2 weeks later, Sasha calls me and he goes, I'm coming up to Toronto. I said, okay. So he says, come and get me, and I'm going to stay at my uncle's place. And of course, I knew where his uncle's place was, right near where I live. So I went, sure, I'll come. I'll come get you at the airport, and I'll drive you to your uncle's. No problem. So I come get Sasha, and he takes me over to his uncle's place, and he sits me down, and he goes, I'm going to make a movie about you. And the first thing that struck me is that none of this would have been possible if I had made it. Like, they're going to make a movie about me not making it. If I had made it, there'd be no movie, right?
Yes.
So immediately, the first thing that came to my mind, this is my boat. My boat's just come in. My ship has just come in, finally.
You felt it in this moment.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going, this isn't a guy with a video camera. It's it's Steven Spielberg's screenwriter. You know what I mean? It's a guy from Hollywood. It's not a guy with a video camera. It's a real deal. It's a real deal, man. And it was part of what I foretold or foresaw as a young man in 1983 when everything went south. The first thing that came to my mind was that I failed this time, but the next time somebody is going to be a fan that grew up and became somebody in either a record company or something else, and they'll help me out. And that is precisely what happened. And I realized right at that moment that that's what that was. Here was the kid that was 15 years old that grew up to be in a position to actually make a huge difference to my career.
Lips. If you didn't give this love to Sasha in the early stage, in this time, if you kicked him out or was what a little boy, if you not give him this love, this the reward came back to you so big because your love to this guy.
That's right.
100%.
That's right.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When I see Rob and you are always the enthusiastic guy. You are the screamer. You are the upfront, the badass. Rob is always the thinker. I don't know. I don't know. He's like this, but he's like this. Are you sure? So, what was the reaction when you told him Sasha was he's a screenwriter, and now comes the movie? Was he immediately like you?
No, no. Rob was impossible to convince. Impossible.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
He didn't believe in it. He didn't believe in it until it was already happening, and even then he was in still questioning it.
How many times you told Rob, we make it? I said, fuck, shit. It's like this.
Yeah, just like when we were doing the European tour, he was driving the little camper bus that we were in. When I said, well, at least we got the sleeping bags and all that. Well, that Rob was doing all the driving. And I said to him, we're only going to have to do this once. Everything's going to change after this. You'll see. And he's going, yeah, right, whatever. Look at what you got us into. You're fucking nuts. And he's still like cursing at me. Look at what you got us into. This maniac woman, and now I've got to drive. She almost killed us. This is insane. I'm going, we're only going to have to do this once. Trust me.
Oh my God. How many times Rob said to you, I hate you?
Oh, Well, we don't fight very often.
He has no
It's
chance, Lips. He has no chance because you have a goal and you reach this goal, and I know you need Rob for this. Maybe that's what you need. You need people. If you have the same crazy maniac like you, it maybe it goes not like this, but because of him, he stops you and you have to convince you and you push and push. No, we have to do it. We have to do this. That's what I think happens,
well,
and that's why.
that is what happened. That is what happened. And at the end, I mean, his whole thing was, who the hell's going to be interested in any of this? He says, we're showing fucking shitholes that we're playing. Who's going to give a damn? Like, who's going to care about this movie at all? He didn't see what, understand what we were doing. He's going, why are we not showing the history? Like, we're doing all the stuff in the present and and into the future. Why didn't we? Why is there no stuff about the history? Why aren't we doing interviews with all the people that we dealt with in the past and stuff like that? And Sasha's going, you just don't understand. We got to show your journey today, what you're doing today. Everybody knows what you did before. It's not important. What's important is what you're going to do, not what you did. It's what you're going to do. And that's what's going to separate this movie from all other documentaries. And I was right on, man. You
Yeah.
know,
So bring us
let's book this fucking the worst tour you can come up with.
Lips. Bring us back to this moment when you and Rob sit together in wherever it was in the screenings, and suddenly you got the recognition. You see Lars Ulrich, Anthrax. They all talk about you. You are influencing them, and then I want. How was it? How you said to Rob told you or something like this happens like this that Rob was like, whoa.
I think when it started to really, it wasn't until the movie actually played. Uh, they debuted it. They debuted the movie in front of something like 1,200 people at the Sundance Festival, the film festival,
Yes.
which was a huge, huge, like even getting involved with that. I completely had taken it for granted that, oh, we're making a movie and we're going to Sundance. Well, that's not the way it works. You make a movie and you hand it in to Sundance and see if you're going to get played. Well, we handed the movie, and not only did we get played, but we became the favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
So what they did is that all the people who were the volunteers and workers at all the theaters and throughout the whole festival had free tickets to come see the Anvil movie. And they actually had to have two showings because everybody wanted to see it. And what actually happened, it's brutal freezing cold in the middle of fucking February in the mountains of Utah, and we're parked in the parking lot in a van and outside the theater, and we got the back doors open, and we're selling This Is 13 CDs, and Rob's handing CDs, and they're handing he's got a bundle of money in his hand, and he's going, oh my God. And this woman comes up and she goes, God damn, I'm never going to listen to this record, but I love you guys. And I'm going, there, look at that. The movie
Because,
goes way beyond the heavy metal thing, and an old lady is buying the CD just because she wants to support the band that she'll never listen to.
man, maybe
Well,
she did.
and if that doesn't convince you what the fuck is going on, nothing will. And that's actually what ended up happening. It had a huge effect on a massive wide demographic. It didn't matter what color you were, how old you were, what country you came from, what language you speak. It came out everywhere, and it was successful everywhere. It's just a real phenomenon.
It
And
was.
that changed everything. Like I haven't been back to a regular. I haven't done a food delivery in 14 years. So it's
Congratulations.
all good.
If somebody deserve it, you and Rob deserve it for 100 for sure. 100 sure.
Well, it's not a matter of deserving. It's earned. We earned it. We worked hard. Put out a lot of records and done a lot of
I,
stuff. It's all
I
good.
followed I followed your career all the time because you are the prototype of a rock guy. You are the real deal, 100%. You are the real deal, because you can see it. When I just watched before, before we have this interview, I watched your face. How when you're on stage and you see the crowd, that is your home. That
It
is your
is. It is. Yeah.
this and the love.
It's where I
You can't
belong.
you can't play this. You can't. This is real, the real deal. So the real deal is at the moment now. All the bands around of Kiss or Aerosmith or Bon Jovi or Anvil, you all sit at home. So you're all level.
Yeah.
So how is you still going on? You writing songs? What's
Oh
going
yeah.
on
Like
in the
actually, we had just put out the 18th album called Legal at Last, and it made it into the German charts. First album ever to make it into the German charts, which is awesome. And then the pandemic started, and we couldn't tour. So what have I been doing? I wrote another album.
yeah, that's it.
I got another album written. I'm gonna record by next
Frank
summer, and that's
Frank
it.
told me Frank told me yesterday. Frank Zimmerman.
Yeah.
He brought me together with you, and he has this Dirty Hell clothing for rockers, and he told me he was, and I saw it. He's in the video because I played the video. Of course, I play the video, and he's singing. He was in two songs.
Oh
Sings
yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
saw him. Yeah, that's Frank. With the beard,
yeah,
cool
yeah,
guy. He's
yeah.
he's on my show on Friday. So Wednesday we are on. On Friday he's in my show.
Oh
Interview.
really?
Yes.
You got to say hello to him for me,
You can say now. Say hello now because he sees it on Wednesday.
Frank. I hope to see you soon. We'll be back in Germany by next year in around this time. So I'll probably see you then. We're booked all over the country next November. So and into December. So we're definitely going to see you in a year from now, which is a good thing.
Yeah. If you ever come to the Philippines, you never know. We keep in touch.
You never know if you let some promoters know that we're available and get in touch with me. Like
I
let
tell
my
you,
manager know. I don't know.
Philippines is a huge, huge, huge country, 180 million people, and they love metal. They love metal so much. They are crazy. Manila and everywhere. They're really, really crazy metal fans here. I know.
And there's the bands usually come and play. The
Some
bands come.
some big bands coming here. Scorpions,
Yeah, but that's
Anthrax.
big bands, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but you never know.
No, you never know.
You never
Well, they can
know.
always have a big band and we'll open.
So we are on 40 minutes already, exactly as long as Ralph Schipper's interview. Is
Okay,
there
well,
something? Is there something for the German metal fans you want to say?
well, that I can't wait to get back to my second home, which is
In my show, we have always Germans, Swiss, and Austrian people, mostly Swiss, Austrian, and German people.
yeah,
So
and I Germany, of course, and anybody knows anything about Anvil. Without Germany, there's no Anvil. It's really, I can't be more thankful to the German people than what they've given me the opportunity for my lifetime, and not of a lifetime, of my whole lifetime. Um, Record deals, audience, gigs, some of the best friends, the best production in the world. And I can't wait to get back there, back to your Yukin studio, which is an amazing, amazing place. And Jorg and Martin Pfeiffer, our producers, absolutely amazing. We've had them for the last 3 albums, and we're going for the 4th one now. And we're going to just keep going, man. That's what we're going to keep doing. And coming back to Germany, and we're going to come next August, and we're going to begin recording. And it's just, I guess, just sort of outside of or in the very, very north part of Germany, not far from Hamburg, and near the border of Holland is where we record.
Okay.
And it's great. We love it there. What a great place, man. And basically we stay at Jorg's house, and he's got a studio there, and it's a fantastic, fantastic experience, and I can't wait to get there. I mean, I've already got the songs. Let's get recording already. It can't happen fast enough.
You still have the fire. That's it. That's you. That's the
Yeah.
Slips.
Yeah, well, we got to get through this pandemic. Fuck COVID.
Yeah. Bullshit. I understand.
Yeah.
Lips, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, man. And hopefully I'll meet you in person one day. Come to the Philippines.
Yeah, would be cool. Lips,
Okay, have a good day.
thank you.
Thank
Give my
you.
regards. Give my regards to Rob,
Okay, I will.
and we love you.
Yeah, Auf Wiedersehen, my friend.
Ciao, Lips. Take
Salute.
care.
Okay,
Stay
bye-bye.
heavy.